So many details.
And most people call them. I think they look incredible, especially that white colorway. I've definitely had them in hand, but like everything this year, I don't know, that fourth one could be anything. Hey, what up and welcome to another episode of Creased, and it is my favourite time of the year where we do the end of year lists. For me, I never really agree with the complex lists. I feel like they try and tick too many boxes and everyone has their own opinion. So I created my own lists. What I do is best, worst, most underrated, most overrated. But this year as well, I'm going to do best new silhouettes, but I'm going to do that over on IG as a reel. So, and they'll be dropping periodically before the end of the year. I feel like the best may be just after, I don't know, we'll get it out eventually. But this is the 2024 most underrated sneakers list. Without further ado, let's get into the honorable mentions. I'm going to go with the Nike SB S-Cargo. For me, it was an interesting shoe and choice that they released for the Paris Games. The only problem was they released it like after the Paris Games, and especially after the skateboarding anyway. The color is quite unique. Green, brown, another type of reddish brown like an auburn. It's meant to be like an escargot, which is obviously a French dish. It's a delicacy over there. It's a snail. But for me, like, the colors don't really match to a snail. For what I understand a snail looks like. Maybe a French snail escargot is a little bit different and it's closer to this. But for me, I feel like that's a Ninja Turtles colorway. And if it was released as such, it goes absolutely bonkers because Adidas actually released a shell toe with a shell toe, like a Ninja Turtle collab. They did a Splinter and I think they did a Shredder as well. They did some really cool collabs this year. They should probably be on the underrated honorable mention list. Completely forgot about them. There's just been so many sneakers this year. And going through the list, like, there was stuff I forgot about, legitimately forgot about. Stuff at the start of the year that you go, oh, that was last year. No, it was the start of the year. But honorable mention to the Escargot, aka the Ninja Turtles. For me, very underrated. Another honorable mention is the Jordan 1 Shadow Low. Jordan 1 lows have never been better. You know, we're getting away from that GR shape. They still do those and you'll get them at Foot Locker and things like that. But you're able to get an OG low. They go with everything, but for whatever reason, whether it be the Game Royal, the Shadow Low, nobody cares. The only one they cared about was the Mocha Low. That was, I couldn't get it. Found it very difficult. I thought it'd be quite easy to get. It was not. But another honorable mention is the Nike Air Up Tempo Low, especially in the white colorway. I feel like we've been chopping the top off a lot of sneakers this year, good and bad. This works. The Air Up Tempo Low, or the Pippin Lows, as I and most people call them, I think they look incredible, especially that white colorway. I've definitely had them in hand, but like everything this year, I think I can get them on sale, so I'm waiting for that. The last honorable mention, I feel like everyone's talking about Jordan 1 lows within the Travis Scott collabs. They're talking about the Jumpman Jacks. No one's really talking about it, and if they are, it's negative. The Field Jack. I feel like it's based on a Spiridon. It's not a bad shoe. I feel like it's better than the Jumpman Jack. The Jumpman Jack looks, I don't know. I don't like it. But yeah, they're the honorable mentions. Now here's the top 10. Starting off at number 10. The most underrated list for 2024. These are so underrated that I forgot that they came out. They're so underrated I forgot they came out and I actually own them. I went looking for them for the last 10-15 minutes because I couldn't find them. It is the Jordan 11 Low Space Jam. No hype, no nothing. I don't think they got to a point where they went on sale, but yeah, just a clean, classic shoe. They obviously chopped the top off them. The classic Space Jam 11 high, but I just find lows in 11s a lot more wearable. 11s work quite well this time of year in other parts of the world, America, England, because it's quite cold. Over here in Australia, it doesn't translate because today was 30 odd degrees, the day before was 40 odd degrees, like, and that's Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So when they do these classic colorways in a low, sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. No one seemed to care about this. If this was like 5-6 years ago, everyone would have been on it. It would have sold out instantly. But for me, I was able to cop quite easily. When I went down to Sydney one time, I was able to try them on, and that's my favorite. Being able to walk into a store, see something you like, try it on, make up your mind, purchase it. Underrated shoe. Go get a pair. Number 9 is the Jordan 2/3. Now there's a couple of reasons why I feel like this is underrated. The Jordan 2, for the most part, nobody likes. I do. I like Jordan 2 lows. I've got one pair of highs, which is the Chicago's, the OG colorway. But this feels like, to me, if it had been released like this, it would have been incredible and it would have done well. My problem is they released it as a low and not a high. They should have released this as a high. I don't even think they came, I don't even think they came out in Australia. I never saw them on any websites. I never saw them in store, never saw them in hand. If they do it in a Chicago high with that 3 midsole and sole, I'll probably cop. That's fantastic. Maybe even do like, it might be a few years down the track now because it's not on trend, but if they did do that and then as they're releasing it, did like a hairy suede or like a premium type collab of that as well in a higher, that'd be incredible. But very underrated, and I still need to see them in hand. This is a brand new silhouette at number 8. It is, I'm just realizing I wrote this because I've been doing these lists throughout the years. As soon as something comes out, I kind of add it, alright, this is interesting to me, things like that. This, I don't know how, where's my list going? I'm going to add it to the brand new silhouettes list. I don't know how I forgot about this. It is the Air Max Portal. Now, these are underrated for a number of things. They kind of take shape from a bunch of different Nike Air Max silhouettes. The Saunder, it's kind of like a Saunder but without the zip, and then it's got the Air Max at the back. I just think they're really interesting, really cool. They're definitely on brand for what's happening within the world of sneakers. The only thing that probably let them down is being a women's silhouette. For whatever reason, they do that a lot. With whether it be collabs, whether it be whatever, they're like, hey, it's, I don't know if it's edgy to just release it as a women's pair, I don't know, but it's not as accessible, people don't see it. Like, for me personally, I very rarely will go to the women's section of a store, unless I'm with a female, or if I go to the outlets, it's a bit more interesting, but I don't know, I don't even think I saw them in stores. I definitely saw them on the Nike app, but I wanted to. Like, even the TN community was hyped on this silhouette, and then it just fizzled out straight away. I feel like the main reason is them being a women's pair, but very underrated. At number 7, these are very underrated. I initially had no interest in them, then I got them in hand. The quality of leather was so good. It is the Adidas Superstar X Corn. Now, I've got the first 2 collabs. The next lot of collabs I wasn't really interested in. This one just seemed like it was ridiculous because I couldn't work out what was going on. They just had this sparkly stuff to it, but they were individual inserts that you could change within the shoes. So you could essentially customize the shoe and personalize them. Cool, gimmicky, whatever. Got them in hand. The leather quality is just super, super butter. And for me, the Superstar is like, it's on the Mount Rushmore for one of the greatest silhouettes of all time, right? You'd say Air Max 1, Jordan 1, Superstar. I don't know, that 4th one could be anything. I'm a little biased to the Jordan 3, but these are such good quality that just seeing them in hand, like I had no interest in buying them. I was just at the Adidas store just near Pitt Street Mall there, had them in hand. Alright, I need them. I need them. Size 10, yep, we got a size 10. Oh, it's only the one that's on display. Alright, I'll just check it over. When I was looking at it, between the left and the right pair, there was a bit of damage that had been done by the interior lighting. If you've worked in retail, you know all about this. Doesn't take long to be out in lighting with certain pairs, certain colors or whatever, and then it starts to fade. So, I didn't want them. I was like, doesn't matter. I'll get them on the Foot Locker website. I forget, I miss out, they're gone. I don't think they're going for any crazy money. I'd have to check, but I definitely want that pair. I feel like it's a more wearable pair than the two I've got. They're quite crazy, but this is a little bit more subtle. I'm a fan. Definitely underrated. At number 6, similar to the Air Max Portal, I feel like the biggest hindrance with this pair is that it's a women's pair. Sizing's an issue. Trying to get your size, I want to say maybe 1 or 2 boutiques made it available in the bigger sizing, and even the bigger sizing would accommodate me, not so much people that were size 12, 13, 14 and things like that. But it is the Jordan 1 High Latte. It's funny, it's a little bit lighter than the Mocha or Mocha, and basically the same colorway other than that. No one really cared about it. They went on sale. I know Jordan 1s aren't really popping like they used to be, but the Jordan 1 Low Mocha came out and sold out instantly everywhere. Resellers are going nuts with them, everything like that. The Latte, nothing. It's slightly lighter. The reason for it is it's a women's colorway. Now, had this come out, let's say 2-3 years ago, good luck trying to get your hands on them. Very underrated in my opinion. At number 5, we have something that I initially balked at, something that a lot of people initially balked at, and when it came out, when people got it in hand, when they saw it, everyone changed their mind. It's the Jordan 4 Bread reimagined. It is one of, if not the most comfortable Jordan 4s you will ever find. It wasn't hard to get a pair. Like, anyone could get a pair. I'm trying to think if this was a win in one raffle total and I hit for Adam. I believe so. I think so. Then when I tried them on, I said, oh, can I review them? Can I try them on? He said, yeah, no worries. I did that and I'm like, oh, I need these. I really need these. So I kept out on the hunt, and by the time that it all come around, like that week of initial release, right? By the time it gets to my house and everything like that, people are trying to resell them for like $300-400 bucks. No, 400 something, because I think retail was 300, which is crazy. Australian dollars, but yeah, still crazy. I managed to get these lightly used. I think they'd been worn once from a dude within the Sneakerheads Australia page group. He already had the 2018s or 2017s, I can't remember. And he was like, I've already got the OGs, why do I need these? I'm not going to say they're better than the OGs, because the OG is the OG, but have a look at that leather. They are so damn comfortable. I remember at the time when I picked them up, I actually changed straight into them because it was a rainy day, and black leather, a lot better than what I was wearing. I want to say I was wearing some mesh white shoe. So, but yeah, these for me, super underrated. When it came down to lists at the end of the year, no one was really including them, but I just feel like they killed it with this. And it always seemed weird to me that the original was a nubuck, when I want to say every other OG colorway of the 4 was a leather. So, did they right some wrongs? I don't know. These are incredible though, super underrated, and extremely comfortable. Get them on your feet, you'll see what I'm talking about. At number 4, only recently dropped. This is part of what I do with these lists, is I wait and see everything. There was a bunch of stuff like mentioned at ComplexCon. They're like, oh, we would have added this if this had dropped or whatever, but like, that's why you wait till the end of the year. You can't have an end of the year list unless it's the end of the year. What's the date today? I think the 22nd? It's the Stash Air Force 1. Now, the Stash 95, I missed out on every raffle, missed out on sneakers, and the Stash Air Force 1's just sitting there. You're able to buy them right now for retail. Retail is $240, which is crazy for an Air Force 1. I feel like with the amount of stock that America got, I should be able to get it on StockX under retail. That's what I'm hoping for. The problem with doing that from America is the shipping. With the shipping and everything, it works out around or over retail. So I'm trying to get it under retail. If I get it under retail, I'll grab it. But this is a classic from 2006. This is like similar to the Wu-Tang Dunk. They went deep back into the archives of grails and brought these back. 2006, 2007, right up to probably 2010. I can't tell you, even probably 2005 before that, I can't tell you the stranglehold that Air Force Ones had on everything. You gotta remember too, I wanna say like 2002 or 3, Nelly had a song called Air Force Ones. It's just a different time period, and it doesn't really connect to today. But the people that missed out or felt that time period back then can reach back and get these Stash Air Force Ones for retail. They were going for like thousands of dollars prior to this. Colors a little bit different, updated materials with the ripstop. I will probably buy these, but I'm trying to be smarter, trying to get them cheaper. Will that mean I won't get them because I'm doing that? Who knows, but number 4 on the list. Number 3 on the list, number 2 on the list, and number 1 on the list could be in any sort of order. They could all be at 1, they could all be at 3, they could all be at 2. But number 3 is the Jordan 3 Quai. This is such a pretty Jordan 3. Like, these are incredible. These look fantastic. I want to say they're only released maybe in Europe. I'm not too sure. I don't remember ever seeing a release over here in Australia for them. And they're so nice. I believe they were at outlets in America. No, they definitely came to America because they were at outlets in America, and I want to say maybe Dubai or something. These went to the outlets. No one cared about them because Jordan 3s generally don't do crazy with hype. They went to the outlets, but we didn't even get them. Had we got them, I would have grabbed them because they are incredible. That it's like premium materials, just a nice colorway. Jordan 3, my favorite silhouette, but no one's even talking about them. I've never heard anyone talk about them this year, except for certain YouTubers. I want to say Kai Somar and maybe Seth Fowler seeing them at the outlets. That's really the only time I've ever seen anyone talking about this shoe. For me, super underrated. I'm watching it like a hawk on all the websites, all the apps, so see what we can do eventually. But you can't have every pair of shoes, man. I mean, I've been trying lately, but I'm gonna have to cut back. Number 2. Again, mainly between 1 and 2. They could either be 1 or 2. Like, they're both incredible. They both came out really early at the start of the year, and nobody's talking about them at this end of the year. But the second most underrated sneaker of 2024 is the SB Dunk Big Money Savings. The details on these with the receipt here, the other pair's got a receipt that stretches out like this long, the embroidered on the heel, the multiple different materials. Like, I've worn these a bunch and they don't even look it, you know. These are better than 9 out of 10 collabs that you will see from Nike SB in terms of materials. Just look at it. It's so nice. I didn't even care about this shoe until I initially went to Exploit skate store in Wagga, and dude had them on his feet, and I'm like, yo, you got another pair? He had like you have a 9 or a 9.5? I don't know. I buy them just because I'm thinking I'm going to TKS, maybe I can size swap them. Everyone's trying to sell this shoe for about $400 on the day. I'm like, alright, they're worth $400, let's see if I can size swap or whatever. Can't do it. Can't get it done. Damn it. I'm gonna have to just sell them. Straight sell them. All of a sudden, I have the thought, why don't I go down to my local Fast Times and just see? They're sitting there. The SB rush is over, no one cares anymore apparently. Which is brilliant for me because I can just go down to my local Fast Times and get whatever I want. These I think I end up being an 11 in, which is crazy. I was at 10.5 in SB Dunks. They only do full sizing, but the 11 was perfect. So, again, being able to go into a store, try a pair on, see if you like it, and my god did I like it. I want to say the 9, I think I sold to Andrew, I believe. Can't remember. I think I sold it to Andrew, but these, like, have a look again at the details. The rope laces, you haven't seen that since Travis Scott. So many different hits. I think, me personally, I feel like the name Big Money Savings is a play on, if these were a collab, they'd be going nuts. No collab, just the GR. Incredible. Even the sole. You got that recycled type sole. There's just so many different details to this. The tongue. Look at the tongue. Look at the ribbed. The inner sole. There is so many details with this. Nobody's talking about this. This wasn't mentioned. This wasn't mentioned in people's top purchases or anything. Nothing. Should this be number 1 or the most underrated? It's number 2. Number 1's very similar though. Drum roll, please. That's enough. The number 1 most underrated sneaker for 2024 is the Jordan 3 Ivory. When these dropped, the amount of hype for these was insane. People were like, that's like the closest to an Amanye that we're ever gonna get. You'll be able to get them for retail. I'm pretty sure they sold out on the day in raffles, everything like that. It was either a midnight drop or a raffle, but I managed to get my pair from either USG or Highs and Lows. Something like that. So it was going to be a while before I get them. And then I was traveling down to Melbourne for TKS anyway. In the same trip that I got the Big Money Savings, I got these. So we get an invite to go to the Nike employee store while I'm there. So many details. And I've already got this pair coming, but like, before I've even seen it in hand, I haven't even seen it in hand. I get to the Nike employee store and I see a pair of these, and these are probably the best thing to cop within that store. And I'm like, I gotta do it. Getting these, which I feel like are such a great shoe. Already, like at the time I'm saying this is sneaker of the year. Obviously this is back in like April, March, something like that. I'm like, I'm gonna need doubles of this shit. So dope. But to be able to get them, this pair specifically, because this is the one I've worn. The other pair might be there, I think. No, that's Fire Reds. I got doubles of a few things. Way too many things considering I don't wear the single pair first, but I got doubles of this. 40% off retail is crazy. Being able to cop them, there, being able to cop a Jordan Retro in store, let alone being able to get 40% off a brand new silhouette, that it sold out everywhere. And for me, like, the Armagnac 3 is by far one of the greatest 3s of all time. One of the greatest collabs, one of the greatest Jordans of all time. This is the closest. This is like a GR substitute for that, in my opinion. They did some weird things. Like, initially when I was looking at them, I didn't realize they'd done this, where it's doubled up. I wasn't sure about that, but it didn't really throw me off. Same with the tongue, how they did the double tongue, but they haven't done that since the Tokyo pair, where you get the Jumpman and the Nike Air on the back. So there's just so many little details that they've thrown into this. Similar to the Big Money Savings, either of them could be one or two, because nobody's talking about this. No one remembers this shoe. I don't think they went to outlets. No, because they sold out on the night. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But this, for me, 2024 most underrated sneaker of the year. What do you guys think? Am I bugging? Are there stuff that's probably a little bit more underrated? Do you rate these? Do you not rate these? Let me know in the comments. We're going to be going through all the lists throughout the next 2 weeks. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. We'll be back. Plenty of content. Peace. Getting outtakes in the list right now.